Hi, this is Jamie Lee. Welcome to my beauty channel, Jamie Lee Beauty. As the name suggests, this is going to be a beauty channel. And welcome to my very first YouTube video ever in existence. This is a little intimidating. But this is something I've wanted to do for quite a while, and I figured I'm just going to dive right in. I apologize, I won't be able to do any like zoom ins on anything because I'm using my cell phone for this on a little tripod-y thing. So I'm doing the best that I can with what I have, and we're just gonna have to, we'll work through it together. We'll make it through this. So what I'm gonna do today is I wanted to start out small because I don't really want to overwhelm myself or try to do something that's kind of outside my comfort zone. I'm not a professional makeup artist. I haven't gone and taken any classes or anything like that. Just like most of you, I'm just really passionate about all things that are beauty and skincare related, and I am a YouTube junkie and watch every beauty YouTuber that I can possibly watch in a given day, every day. So I just kind of wanted to do my take on it. So again, what we're gonna do today is what I wear on a daily basis during the summer. I live in New Jersey, and today it's gonna be like in the mid 80s, and that's hot for me. I don't really like the hot weather, which is kind of weird. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy for that, but I don't know about anybody else that's like super crazy into makeup and they're like, yeah, cake face, middle of summer, doing it. I can't do it. I can't stand the feel of foundation on my face when it's hot. I sweat very easily. It doesn't take much for me to sweat. Once it gets like over 75 degrees, I start sweating. I mean, like even at the gym, 2 seconds into my treadmill workout, I'm like pouring sweat. So for me, the feeling of sweat mixing with my makeup does not feel good. I don't care if it's like a waterproof 24-hour wear foundation. I don't like the way it feels. And then even if I know that it's a long wearing foundation, I will constantly be checking my makeup because I will be terrified that it's just, I'm gonna look like a melted down, disgusting, drippy mess. So most of the time I don't wear makeup during the summer, but when I do, I go very, very light-handed. It's a very quick application, and it's just something to kind of make me look a little bit more fresh-faced and all that good stuff. So without getting so crazy into like an introduction here, I think I pretty much gave you a good one. I don't know. We're just gonna get right into it, and let's get into this tutorial on how I do my makeup during the summer if I'm gonna wear makeup. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we're gonna get right into everything here with this stuff. I apologize. It looks like I'm looking over in this direction. I really wish this was a camera and not my cell phone because the camera's right over here on the side and I have my phone horizontally in a tripod. If this was a camera, I'd be looking straight ahead and it'd be no problem. I am looking straight ahead at myself, but it looks like I'm looking over here. So there's nothing over here, just in case you were wondering. Okay, so I have super crazy long hair, really long hair, and I can't deal with this while I'm doing makeup. I'm getting married in September, and I'm gonna do an updo. So the hair is being grown out. This is much longer than I would ever really have it in real life. I swear. I'm making an appointment the second after I'm married. I'm gonna chop it all off. I mean, not all off, but at least a few inches, because this shit's up this crazy up here. I can't deal with it. Okay, so I'm throwing that over there as my cell phone case. So even though I'm not using foundation, we're gonna be using a tinted moisturizer. I typically actually use this by Glossier. It's the skin tint. And it is in shade medium. This doesn't really give a lot of coverage at all. Pretty much all that this does is give you, kind of evens out your skin tone. But I'm a VIB Rouge member, and they had this really awesome, what is it called? It's a promotion for like free deluxe samples, and I got the Mercier tinted moisturizer. So I'm actually gonna try this today. It's the first time I'm trying it. We're gonna see what it does together, okay? But even though we're not putting foundation on, even though I'm not going to be putting an actual foundation on my face, you do still need to prime. It's just kind of an important step to do. My favorite primer right now is the Luminizer Primer by Dr. Brandt. This stuff's great. This is a really good primer that I think takes the best of both worlds and puts them together, because primers that are luminous like the L'Oreal Lumi or the Becca Backlight Primer are beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. They give you a really great kind of glow from within look, but they don't actually do anything to prolong the wear of your makeup, and they don't do anything to like minimize pores or anything like that. So you're kind of losing out on that aspect of the primer when you're using a super crazy highlighty primer like that, and MAC Strobe Cream's kind of the same. This gives you a little bit of both. It's not crazy luminizing the way like a Becca Backlight Primer or MAC Strobe Cream is, but it gives a little bit of illumination, and it does a really good job of just kind of smoothing everything out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. Sorry, this is a little nerve-wracking for me. I'm such a fan of so many YouTubers, beauty YouTubers. I can't zoom in, so I'm just gonna like get really close to the camera. I'm such a fan of so many beauty YouTubers, you know, and I look at them and go, "Ooh, I've always wanted to do this." I'm just kind of working this into my skin. I kind of look at them and think, "Wow, I really want to do that. I have so much passion for this, and you know, this is something I really enjoy doing." I'm not a creative person. I'm not artistic in any way, shape, or form, and I've always wished that I was, that I could like play an instrument or paint or draw or something like that. But I'm not very creative. But when it comes to makeup, I find that I can be a little bit more creative. I feel like it just brings out that part of me. And I guess it doesn't really matter what medium it's in, whether it's physical, like, you know, drawing and painting and all that stuff, or makeup. It's all art. You know, it's all an expression of yourself. So okay, so that's on, and it's really hard to see. I don't have crazy pores to begin with. I have like normal sized pores. I don't have anything crazy going on, but it does do a pretty good job of smoothing things out here, which is nice. It does a good job, and I'm not sure if you can tell on the phone, but you can see like it's kind of luminous. It's not in your face luminous, like you're not, you know, but it does a good job. Actually, the next thing we're gonna do, sorry about that. Completely forgot to wet my beauty blender, and it was not over here, so I had to go do that. I'm actually, usually with my Glossier skin tint, I just use my hands. I think summer makeup is one of those times during the year where you really don't have to go crazy using a bunch of tools. Most of this stuff you can use your hands with because they're like, you're using like tinted moisturizers and stuff like that. You can really get away with just using your hands. I, however, I can't decide if I want to use a brush or a beauty blender. Because I have my IT Cosmetics Kabuki flat top, and I have the beauty blender. I'm going to try the brush first, and we'll see how it goes. If I don't like how it's coming out, then we'll kind of go from there. I'm just going to put this on the back of my hand. This is in the shade, this is the Laura Mercier Broad Spectrum SPF 20 Sunscreen Lightweight Flawless Coverage Tinted Moisturizer. And where does it say the shade name? It's not, oh, there it is, Nude. This was the color that was available. I just self-tanned for the first time in my entire life. That probably doesn't look like it because I did it last week, so it's kind of, you know, gone away, but I'm gonna pick this up off the back of my hand with my brush, and we're gonna go to town and see what happens. I need a mirror. I think a brush was a good idea because it's giving me a little bit more coverage than I think I would get if I used a beauty blender. Really, with stuff like this, tinted moisturizers, you're not really going for like a crazy full coverage thing. Obviously, that's not going to happen. It's not a full coverage foundation. So I'm just looking to get an even application of it across my skin so that, you know, my hair. Get out of there. It smells kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's a bad weird yet. I can't decide. It smells kind of weird. It just has an odd scent to it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna apply this just like this, as you see me applying it. And then I think I'm gonna go over it with the beauty blender just to kind of get some of the brush strokes out of it. There aren't a ton. It's not leaving a ton of brush strokes behind, but I'm one of those people that I never use a brush to apply foundation. ever, unless it's a powder foundation. And the only powder foundation I use is IT Cosmetics, because it's the only one that does not look like powder on my skin. But like I said, I'm one of those people that definitely does not use a brush to put on liquid foundations ever. So I'm very critical when I use a brush. I'm like, it doesn't look as good as a beauty blender. So the color is a good match, which is nice. And honestly, this is really, really beautiful. It's very beautiful. It gives me much more coverage than the Glossier one does, which is not it's not a negative from the Glossier side at all. Don't forget to blend the ears. I still love the Glossier skin tint. It's really great when I'm not like wearing any makeup and I just throw that on. But yeah, that looks actually really beautiful. I'm not sure if you can, again, I'm sorry I can't zoom in. It tells me that it won't let me. But I think it looks really beautiful. I am gonna go back over with the Beauty Blender just to kind of even the texture out a little bit. I'm putting this right in front of the camera, aren't I? It's Con Air. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. I'll probably edit that out or something. Or I could just take it off right now. I could also just take it off right now. That would probably be the smart thing to do. Oh, don't you hate it when that happens? I'm not fixing that. Not doing it. I don't care. Not right now. So as far as doing your makeup like this during the summer, again, I'm gonna repeat myself, and I'm probably gonna do that a lot because I'm new to this. I don't really wear makeup in the summer. Typically, if I want to look not dead, usually what I'll do is I throw on like a tinted lip balm or like a lightly colored, not quite opaque, kind of like a sheer gloss on my lips, and I'll call it a day. Maybe I'll do my brows, but I typically just don't because I just don't like the way makeup feels on my skin when it's hot out. I will wear makeup every season of the year, just not during summer. Okay, so I think this is looking really, really beautiful. Now, if for whatever reason you choose that you're watching this tutorial and you're like, I'm not even putting that on my face, we're gonna go right over onto concealers now. Even if you decide, you know what, I just want to put concealer on and call it a day, my advice to you would be this with concealer: if that's the only thing you have on your face, if that's the only makeup that you're putting directly onto your skin as that's a skin color, you need to find a concealer that's very, very close to your actual skin color, like the rest of your face. We're all kind of trained to pick up concealers that are lighter than our skin tone so that we can highlight under the eye, which is obviously the right thing to do. But if all you're wearing is concealer and you have no foundation on, it's gonna look kind of weird having this really bright under eye for no reason and it doesn't match anything else. So you want to get as close to your skin tone as possible. I have not used this yet. This is the Nars, I think it's a soft matte complete concealer in the color Custard. I also do use the Glossier, what is this thing called? Stretch concealer. This is really good for your no makeup days and you don't want a heavy concealer on. It's very emollient. It's really emollient. So I would suggest you set it down with the powder. But it's a really nice, light, natural, very natural looking concealer. Okay, so let me find a brush for this. This might work. Okay. I don't want to stick my fingers in here, so I'm going to pick up a brush. I also never do concealer with a brush. Always a beauty blender. So I'm just using this brush to place the concealer. I'm not actually going to use it to blend out. I'm going to use the Beauty Blender for that. I don't think that I would suggest this concealer if you have dry under eyes. I wouldn't say that this is a particularly drying formula, but I would say that the air conditioning just kicked in and I hope you can still hear me. I would not say that this is like an overly drying formula at all, but it's not as like, it's not a dewy concealer by any means. I mean, it's called soft matte. That's the best way I can explain it, is it's matte. It's kind of it's a matte concealer, but it's not like crazy matte. It's a soft matte. That's really the best way to, the actual description for this product, the name of the product is a really good description. There's no other way for me to describe it. Even though this is a matte concealer, I am gonna set this. I didn't bring my RCMA No Color Powder over here. It's back there in that whole thing, and I'm not gonna stop the video. So I'm just gonna use my Bye Bye Under Eye. Bye Bye Under Eye, it's Bye Bye Pores by IT Cosmetics. This is what it looks like. This is the front of it. It's a little beat up. This is fantastic for setting the whole face, and it's fantastic for setting under the eyes. This works for me in different capacities with no problem. Now I'm just gonna make sure that there aren't any creases going on here before I go in with this to set it. I'm filming this in front of my window. It's the only good lighting I have. I have no lighting. I don't have any ring lights or anything like that. So there's like people walking around and I'm like, oh man, they're gonna look at me. What the hell is that girl's problem? What is she doing? Not every day you see somebody filming a YouTube video. It's kind of weird. It looks pretty set to me. No creasing, no cracking. It looks good. So, my whole kind of aesthetic with makeup is I am not a professional, which I mentioned earlier. I'm not a professional. I just really love makeup. I love playing with makeup. I love trying new things, new products. It's just something I really enjoy. And, you know, I feel like I'm terrible at using eyeliner, even just to do like a regular line. I'm horrible at it. I don't know how to do a cut crease. We're gonna learn together, because I'm gonna figure out how to do it, and then I'm gonna do it on here, and I'm gonna show you like an easy way to do it. There are a lot of YouTube channels out there for beauty purposes that definitely do beginner makeup, but I want this channel to kind of be a grow with me type of thing, because I would say that I'm a little bit more than a beginner, like definitely more than a beginner, but not quite like in that intermediate phase of makeup art. So, you know, I'm getting there, and I want this to be accessible for people that feel overwhelmed by makeup sometimes, or feel like they don't know where to start, or feel like they don't want to do these Instagram ready looks all the time. They want to find a more natural kind of easy way to get into makeup. And the thing that inspired me to do that was recently is like my mom. We walk into Sephora and she just looks at me and she's like, I don't know how you even know what any of these things are. It's so overwhelming. I wouldn't know if I came in here for a lipstick, I would have no idea where to start because there's hundreds of them. And I used to feel that way. That I used to be so intimidated by makeup when I was younger. But once you really find out what works for your skin type, what works for colors work with your undertones, and once you realize there's really no rules when it comes to makeup, you can really kind of just venture out and try a bunch of different things, and it won't feel or seem so intimidating. And that's what I learned. It's what I hope to kind of translate to everybody else. So we're gonna move on to the rest of the face now. Okay, so now what I'm gonna move on to is my brows. I am not a huge fan of doing, not a huge fan of doing my brows. And a lot of people that I watch on YouTube say the exact same thing, that the brows are their least favorite part. I am lucky in the sense that I didn't get into that ridiculous craze in like the 90s and early 2000s of having like a line of hairs and that was your brow. I didn't, like, I over tweezed in a couple spots, but I never really had that problem. So I actually have pretty good brows. I think there's a couple of areas that are a little bit sparse. I do use pencils, like I'll use Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have IT Cosmetics Brow Power. That one's really good too. But my favorite thing ever when I don't want to be really fussy and mussy with my brows is the Glossier I think this is called the Boy Brow, right? Yeah, this is the Glossier Boy Brow. And this is in the shade brown. It's just brown. I don't think that they, I cannot get it to focus. It says brown, trust me. I don't think they have a ton of shades, but this thing is fantastic. Kind of wish I had brought my little spoolie, but I'll just use this to kind of, I just tweezed my brows and shaped them and, you know, trimmed any longer hairs I had up top. This is literally the easiest brow product you could ever possibly use. This is what the applicator looks like. It's a nice teeny tiny little spoolie, which is exactly what you want for your brows. I am going to use this mirror over here. And what this does is it just kind of deposits color in and makes your brows look a little bit darker, a little bit thicker. It doesn't dry right away, so you have a little playtime if you kind of, you know, go a little outside the lines and you're not crazy about what you did. You can kind of just get right in there and fix it. So I do that, and then I like to, apparently I like to throw my brushes. Then I just like to go through with this and kind of shape the brow and just make sure everything's in place. And you can see the difference between this brow and this brow. This one's darker, it looks fuller, you know, and it was in like seconds that I did it. So this is definitely my favorite brow product. And this stays in your brows all day, which is fantastic. I don't, you know, who doesn't like a brow product that doesn't move? I just, again, if you don't like doing your brows and you have a similar shaped brow to mine, or you have enough hair in your brow like this, I think that it's worth it to pick this up. It's not super crazy expensive, and it's just so easy to do. I'm done. I'm done with my eyebrows. That's it. Done. I have like these little baby hairs over here, and they're driving me nuts right now. So now we have the foundation down, we've got concealer down. I am going to set my face just because this Mercier stuff feels a tiny bit tacky. It's not crazy tacky, but it's tacky enough. I am going to use my Morphe E41, this ginormous brush. E41, sure you can read that. And I'm just going to kind of go to town with this. I'm just going to, why am I trying to use this as a mirror? It's not a mirror. Just going to do this just to kind of set it down. This powder is really great for setting the face. And what's really good is that it really does a nice job of making your skin look like basically airbrushed. So this paired with the primer that I put on underneath really gives me a nice finish no matter what I have on my face. I'll take it down the neck a little. Not that I really need to. It's a setting powder, but okay. So that's all I'm going to do. Right here. Kind of skipped over that. I like naturally want to look at this to do my makeup, but I can't really see in depth on this camera. So I'm like, no, use your freaking mirror, Jamie. Okay. The other reason why you want to set your, and also it's getting cloudy. I apologize. I don't control the weather. Wish I did. The other reason why you kind of want to set your face with a powder, even if you're just using like the Glossier skin tint or a tinted moisturizer or anything like that, if you plan on putting any powder products on your face, like, you know, blush, highlight, bronzer, any of that, if you plan on putting any of that on your face, you need to put some powder down because you can't put powder directly onto cream. That doesn't work. So even if you just do a very light layer of something to kind of, and I would highly suggest like the Bye Bye Pores or the RCMA No Color Powder, because there's no, excuse me again, I'm drinking seltzer. It makes me apparently a rude individual because I keep burping. A translucent powder, because you don't want to add any heaviness to the skin because it's summertime and you want something really light and really fresh. So I tend to go in with blush first. This is a new one from Colourpop. It's a duo. And they don't put the names on these things, I guess, because I don't know what the name is of this. It was on the little, this came in a sleeve. It was on the sleeve, but who keeps that, right? So I threw that out, and you have this nice little box here, but now I don't know what the name of this is. But it's a little duo. It's a highlighting blush duo. So you have your blush color here and your highlight here. Look how pretty that is. It's so pretty. The blush feels amazing. It's very pigmented. And it's pretty in your face. I don't typically go for blushes this color, but I'm hoping if I pick up just a little bit of color on this, that it won't be overpowering. Let me find a, we're gonna use this. This is not the brush you think it is. This is by Japanesque. So I'm just gonna, barely anything. Again, and I wish there was a mirror in here. Really do. You know, and I feel like I don't like a ton of color on my cheeks because my cheeks are naturally kind of pink all the time, especially when I get hot. So I feel like, you know, in the summer, most people kind of get a little flushed in the face. So you really need, my personal opinion is during the summer, I don't think you need to put on a lot of blush. It's not necessary. You're going to naturally flush anyway because it's warm out, especially if you're running around, you know, running errands or... So I'm just putting this on the apple of my cheek and then bringing it back. I need a tiny more on the other side. Even it out a little bit. Okay. And I'm actually just going to go back in with this powder brush because in here it looks fine, but in this mirror it looks like much pinker than I would like it. So whatever brush you used to set your face, there will be a little bit of powder left over on that, so you can use that to kind of diffuse things if you need to. Next thing we're going to go ahead and do is highlight. I have two highlighters. I have the Twinkle stick from Tarte, which does look really beautiful. I mean, first of all, look at the packaging. Like, how cute is this? It looks like Little Mermaid scales. It's so cute. And this is in Spotlight. I think it comes in other colors. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But, you know, swatched, it's gorgeous. It's really, really pretty. And I'm like, do I apply it directly to the skin? You know what? Let's go for it. We're going to see what's going to happen. That's what we're going to do. I'm just going to kind of dab it on. I'm going to put this down. And I'm going on the high points of my cheek and back. So I want to lay this down, and then I want to put some of the other highlighter on top of it, because who doesn't want to look as glowy as they possibly can? I'm going to take my Beauty Blender and just kind of use that to kind of blend it out so there's no harsh edges. Now, it's actually quite glowy. It's a very natural kind of glowy look. So I don't really want to add too much more on top of this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my unicorn brush from Wet n Wild, and I'm going to pick up this highlighter from the Colourpop thing, whatever. And I'm gonna pick up just a little bit on the brush. And I'm gonna hit the very high point of the cheek to kind of give a little bit of extra, like, bang for your buck. Highlighter is like icing on a cake. I love it. A little bit above. Let's go down the bridge of the nose. And above the Cupid's bow. This seems like it's a really long routine for like no makeup. I normally would have already been done, but I'm talking a lot, so that's why it's taking. So this is what the highlight looks like with that little bit of a pop there. So I actually really like, this is brand new to me, the Tarte Twinkle stick. I actually really like how that applied. It's very natural. I like a beaming highlight just as much as the next girl does. I do, but I really enjoy a subtle one as well. So, okay. Pretty much the last thing I'm going to do to my face is bronze up just a little bit. I don't want to go crazy. This is also new to me. This is Hourglass Ambient Light in Luminous Bronze Light. I love the packaging of Hourglass. They just, everything looks beautiful that they do, everything. So I'm going to pick some of this up on a Morphe M527. And that's pretty pigmented. And I'm just gonna kind of go around the perimeter of my face. This has a little bit of a sheen to it also, which is nice. How do I get my hair out of the way? I need a mirror is what I need. And I think using bronzers that have a bit of a sheen to them is really nice during the summer because, you know, it gives you that nice little glow. And who doesn't like to glow? I mean, really. Go under the chin here. I'm not being too precise with this. I just kind of want an all over glow going on and an all over kind of. So now we're going to move on to eyes. And this is going to be the easiest thing you have ever seen. These are the Molten Liquid Eyeshadows by E.L.F. I do not see people talking about these. I really wish they would. And this is in Rose Gold. This is literally the easiest thing you could possibly put on your lid. Kind of need a transition shade. Hang on. I'm going to pick up my Tartlette In Bloom just to put in here. It's so easy to use. Whenever I'm in a rush or I just kind of want to do quick makeup and I don't want to be bothered with doing anything on my eyes, this is what I use. It's just beautiful. Look at it. Here, I'll swatch it on my hand for you too. That helps, right? Look at that. Look at it. Beautiful. And it's E.L.F., so it's like super crazy affordable. So what I do is I get as much on here as I can. Close the eye, and I just go and apply it straight with the doe foot applicator. I did try blending this with my fingers once, and what happens when you do that is it blends all that beautiful shine away. So just use the doe foot applicator to apply it straight. That's my suggestion to you, unless you don't want your eyes to look this glowy, and in which case, I'm sorry, but we can't be friends. Not be friends. I give that like a second. I don't want to close my eye. I give it like I like to let it dry a little bit. But while it's doing that, and I've got my eye closed, I am going to grab I am going to take, this is actually the Sephora Pro Crease brush. So I am going to use this, and what color do I want to use? I think I'm going to take Sweetheart from the Tartlette In Bloom palette, dust that off, and I'm just going to go right into the crease. And now I'll open up my eye a bit so I can see what I'm doing. And this just makes sure that there's no harsh line with that eyeshadow. And it gives you a little bit of depth by going in there with the transition shade. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other eye now. Oh, I love these things so much. They're so quick and easy to use. I have them in, they come in 3 colors. I believe it's 3. It's gold, copper, and rose gold. And I have all 3 colors. I kind of wish they would come out with more, but I don't see people talking about these, and I don't know why. They're so good. You know, as long as you know how to work with it. I mean, it's like any liquidy eye product that you, how it works best, and then just kind of go from there. Let's bring that down a little bit. And again, I'm going to leave that eye closed for a minute just so it can kind of do whatever it needs to do. Again, I'm going to go back in with Sweetheart from the Tartlette In Bloom palette and just going to go right into the crease so that there's no harsh metallic-y line. And be careful when you're, like, angle the brush up this way because you don't want the brush to wind up swiping across that color because you're going to take it all off by doing that. And these last a really nice amount of time in my eyes. I find that the end of the day rolls around and they still pretty much look like this. They don't crease on me. I don't have any problems with that, which is fantastic. It's just, what more could you ask for? I mean, look, like my eyes are basically done. I need to put an inner corner highlight and a brow bone highlight and obviously mascara. But for the most part, this is like my eyes are done, which I think is fantastic. For my inner corner highlight and brow bone highlight, I'm going to use Stila's, the classic Kitten. I actually picked this up recently. I had it a long, long time ago, and it broke. And I remember how sad I was when that happened. I was like devastated because it was one of the very first super, you know, not super, but expensive for me at the time because I was in high school. I was young. And it broke, and I was heartbroken about it because it was really expensive to me, you know, especially being used to just drugstore makeup at the time. So I'm just going in the inner corner with this to really open up the eye. Okay, brow bone, I'm going to dip in with the Morphe M135. This is like perfect for getting the brow bone. And dip into that. Oh, stupid hair. And I'm just going to hit the brow bone with that just a little bit. I think summer makeup's, I mean, I like to glow all the time. I like my makeup to be very glowy all the time. Not necessarily my foundation. I don't like to look like a, you know, like a greasy mess. But as far as like everything else goes, I like to just drop that on myself. But as far as everything else goes, I like to control where I put the glow on my eyes, on my cheeks. I like to control where I put the glow, so I tend to go for that more. Okay, that looks good to me. So now we're gonna go in with the torture device, which is what my fiance calls this. The eyelash curler. And I actually, funny enough, this has been making the rounds on YouTube. Tati from Glam Life Guru. That's hard to say. Glam Life Guru. I just say Tati and call it a day. She has been like head over heels with this. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. And what's funny is I never get the jump on other people when new makeup comes out. Ever. Like, I never get the jump on people. But this was something I saw on Ulta.com, and it just looked really interesting. The packaging looked different than anything I'd ever seen from L'Oreal, and I really wanted to give it a go, so I had ordered it. And then in the process of me waiting for it to arrive, Tati wound up reviewing it. So I'm actually really excited to try this because it's supposed to be really good. I don't really wear false eyelashes. I've been trying to learn how to apply them. It's not hard. It's really not like crazy difficult. You just need to practice doing it. That's really all it is. That's what it boils down to, is practice. And I just don't practice often enough. I started using this stuff by a company called Lash Food, and I do it every morning and every night. It tells you to just do it at night, but I do it every morning and every night. You run it across your lash line like you would eyeliner, and it helps your eyelashes grow. And I have been seeing a huge difference in the length of my lashes, and I did not expect it to work at all. So that was impressive to me. Like, these lashes are much longer than, that's a lot on there. Much longer than they used to be. I got a little bit of mascara here. Quick tip that I didn't know for a very long time and only learned within the last like year and a half or so. If you kind of touch your surrounding eye area with any mascara, don't go in and rub it, like try to get it off right away. What's going to happen is it's going to smear everywhere and it's just going to be a mess. Wait until it dries, and then you can kind of just like scrape it off and you don't have to worry about anything. That's something I wish I had known, and it's such a simple thing. I'm like, oh, thanks everybody for only now telling me that. Like, this is a new eyelash curler to me. It's from Sephora. I used to use like just the old school L'Oreal one. And man, I'm getting congested. And I'm still getting used to how my lashes fit into this curler. It's a little bit different. So if I look like I'm inexperienced in curling my lashes, that is not the case. It's just a newer lash curler for me. So again, with these baby hairs. Why are you even there? No one needs you. Yeah, you can't even see me doing this, right? Okay. Okay, I am going to say I'm pretty impressed with this mascara. It's the first time I'm using it. It's definitely making my lashes look really nice. They're very separated and like up. and it's hard for my lashes to stay curled. They just never do. Now, during the summer, I don't put mascara on the lower lash line. It's just not my cup of tea, because I sweat, and I sweat under my eyes, and even if it's a waterproof formula, I just don't like the idea of it. So, not a fan. We're not going to do that. So, the next thing we're going to do, and second to last thing, is that correct? Second to last thing we're going to do, I'm thirsty, sorry, is lipstick. This is the Tarte Lip Sculptor. These have been around. This is not a new product. It's new to me, but it's not a new product. I just started really getting into these, and I love them. I think it's great. You have the lipstick on one end, and then you have the gloss on the other. I find a lot of times what happens with me with lipsticks is I'll have a lipstick on, and then as it wears off, I don't really want to apply more. I just kind of want to moisturize my lips at that point. So I usually will go in with a gloss, so it's great that it's combined on here. This is in the shade Cartwheel. I believe this is supposed to be like a, sort of like a coral color. It's not very coral to me. It's got a hint of coral to it, but not what you would think. So I'm just going to go in and put this on. I lied. You know what it is I tried this on without makeup on, and sometimes I find that lip colors just look so completely different when you have a full face of makeup. Yeah, okay. So this definitely has more of a coral undertone than I foresaw. I'm going to just take the gloss end, and I'm just going to pop it. I'm not going to put it on my entire lips. What I'm going to do, and if you're not aware, this is a really good tip. If you want to make your lips look a little poutier, a little juicier, you take a lip gloss. It doesn't have to be this one. Doesn't have to be one of these. Just take a lip gloss over any normal lipstick that you're wearing and put it right in the center on the bottom and in the center on the top. And automatically your lips look a little bit, it's kind of like a contouring effect, or like a highlighting effect. It focuses you in on the center of the mouth, which makes it look just like, oh my goodness. So we're done. The last thing I'm gonna do, I just got this too. This is also new to me. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Marine Boosting Mist. I got the little one. It takes me a long time to go through setting sprays, so I just got the little one to try it. Sell on mistakes. I'll be right back. Okay, I got it. This kind of spits a little. I'm a little worried to like, I'm kind of concerned because it like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like, oh, now it's doing fine. Whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and, when you're setting your face, close your eyes obviously and close your mouth obviously. You don't want to inhale this. Try not to move your face because you're setting the makeup down. So however your face is, whatever positioning your face is in, it's gonna set it that way. So try not to move when you're setting your face. Yeah, it definitely spit out at me a little bit. I need to like fan, you know what? Let's do this. Hopefully I don't hit myself in the face. Don't laugh if I do. Okay, so this is the finished look. I'm gonna take my hair down so I don't look so crazy. So this is the finished look. This is a typical, if I'm going to wear makeup during the summer, this is pretty much what I go with. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is amazing. The Laura Mercier, the Tinted Moisturizer is amazing. It gives a lot more coverage than I thought it would, but still not like I can see my skin. I can absolutely see my skin. I look very glowy and very peachy, and it looks really nice, and I love it. It looks great. But any tinted moisturizer will work. You can get anything from the drugstore. Actually, drugstore has a lot of really great tinted moisturizers. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now just because this is so overwhelming. But you can get a tinted moisturizer from any brand or any company. Obviously, you find one that works for you and works for your skin and what you're looking to achieve. But I think that's the way to go during summertime. And again, this is like, if I'm gonna wear makeup, this is what I do, but typically I don't even do this because it's too hot. Okay, so that's it. I guess I will link the, I don't know how to link. I might just have to list the products that I used below, down here somewhere in this area. That looked weird. I'll try to put a list down here of all of the products that I used on my face today. And this was my first YouTube video. I think it went okay. I hope that I don't look back on this in a few years and go, oh my God, that was horrendous. What was I thinking? Terrible. Horrible, horrible. I hope that's not what that's not my reaction in like 2 years time. That would suck. Anyway, I'm rambling because that's what I do when I'm nervous. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love it if you would subscribe. I know this is a brand new channel, brand new personality on YouTube amongst millions. But a subscribe would be fantastic. Also, make sure if you liked this type of tutorial, really chatty kind of get ready with me deal, click the like button. That helps me out a lot. And if you want to get updates of when I actually upload videos, make sure that you click the bell icon. It's somewhere like in the description of the video. Otherwise, you won't get notified. Even though you're subscribed, you won't be notified of when I upload. So make sure you hit that bell icon. And any of you guys that actually do wind up subscribing to my channel, I really appreciate it. This is something I've always wanted to do, and I'm excited to kind of foray out into it and try this and see how it goes and kind of work from there. So thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.